Welcome to Real Estate Happy Hour with the Acevedo team. I'm your host, Nathan Gans, and with me is Amy Acevedo. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can become a homeowner. Probably one of the things you're thinking about is, how do I come up with a down payment? It seems really difficult, or maybe it seems impossible. Let's talk today about a few creative ways that you could come up with a down payment so you can become a homeowner.
What are 3 ways to come up with a down payment?
I know this answer. Somebody can either give you a down payment as a gift. You can pull out from a home equity line of credit. And the third one is if it's from your savings.
Be independently wealthy. It's one of them. You could just save your money. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What a down payment. I mean, you have to have the money.
You have to have the money.
Yeah.
What other option is there?
Parents and in-laws and working hard.
Do you have any relatives that are looking for other people to give a down payment to, including myself?
No.
I'm just kidding.
For a down payment, I would say you should prepare advance for many years, save up some money. Mostly save money and do not spend.
I know that in Washington State there's a first-time home buyers program, because I was recently looking at purchasing a new home. So I know that there is a program that does like $10,000, I think, in assistance for down payment. You can also, if you have it, sell stock. Otherwise, I don't really know how else, unless you're just saving or selling things you don't need, like an extra car or whatever.
Be smart with your money, save, and kind of invest well. If you're lucky and you have wealthy parents, you can probably get a gift. And maybe kind of start small and then kind of start selling and work your way up is probably a good way to save money.
Today's episode, we are so grateful to have 2 guests with us. First, Devin Rowe from Cardinal Financial, and the other is Mike Ross from Northwest Premier Creative Financial Solutions. It's a fantastic company. I highly encourage you to look them up. Mike and I started the company a while ago, and well, it's been nothing but incredible ever since.
It's a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. So today's gonna be a little bit different, Amy. So you're gonna actually be the host, and I'm gonna be one of the interviewees.
Yes.
So have at it.
Yay! Hi everyone. So I am really excited today. These, all 3 of these guys I have worked with for years. They are all just fantastic. They are so good at thinking outside of the box. So a lot of people do feel like it's overwhelming. And maybe you own a home, but you'd like to buy an investment, or maybe you've always dreamed of home ownership, but you just can't seem to get that little bit together or a lot together for your down payment. So we are here to give you guys some creative solutions on how to come up with a down payment. So do any of you have like a fun story or like a creative way that someone came up with a down payment?
Okay, I guess I'll start on this. So I've been doing lending since '05, so I've seen a lot of crazy ways that people have tried to save some money. So what they're doing is selling an old car or something. Like they have a classic car, and yes, it's out front at the apartment complex, and it looks great out there, but it would be nice to have your own garage to put one of those in someday. So sell that, use the money for a down payment, get into your house, and then once you build some equity and once you save some money, then you can go buy your toy again. But that's one version. I got many more, but we'll spread it around. So who wants to go next?
So basically like hawk your fancy car until you can
sell
buy
the
it.
stuff you don't need.
Yeah.
That's a depreciating asset, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Get off it, get your money, get your house, which is an appreciating asset, and then buy your toys.
That is very good advice.
I think what it comes down to too is priorities, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's really about like what is your main priority in front of you. So for one of the ways we've come up with is I just ask them, okay, your main goal for this coming year is to buy a home, correct? Got it. Okay, so I look at everything that's going on in their financial world to see where we can find money. One of the most common things I see in a lot of people is they're contributing to their retirement accounts at their work, their 401ks. The 401k, you don't have access to that money until you're 59 and a half typically, right? Now there are some, just workarounds where you can use it for a down payment at home, but the point is, if you just pause your 401k or just turn that faucet off just for a year to save up money for what you want immediately, which is that down payment for the home, that could supercharge your savings account. An example being, somebody's putting $500 into their 401k, that's $6,000 a year. If they're in their 30s, right? So I'm 32. So if I just turn 1 year off on my 401k, that's $6,000 extra to put into my down payment for the house. Then you just turn back your 401k when you get the home, right?
Yeah.
And if your advisor or somebody you're working with can't make up that 1 year you took off in the next 30 years, should probably find a new advisor.
Well said.
I can
There you go.
imagine you.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. That's actually really good. Just mindset is huge and priorities. I wanted to backtrack a little bit. So Devin, tell us a little bit about Cardinal Financial. Like what type of loans do you do? And
So we're residential home loans is what we specialize in. We do have a lot of investment property loans as well. So residential for your primary residence, we do your second homes, your vacation homes, and we do your investment properties. So those are the main things we do. We don't deal with the commercial side. So just to piggyback a little bit on what he was saying was, you can also, if you have a substantial 401k, you can get a loan from that 401k, and you're moving that money from one appreciating asset, meaning your 401k account, which is invested in the stock market, over to another appreciating asset, which is your house. So you're not spending that money, you're only moving that money. So now you're diversifying. So now you have two assets that are going up. So if one market is different, one's going down, the other one's typically going up. So it helps to not have all your eggs in one basket. And so if you split that up, now you have a home, you got to live somewhere. So you may as well be paying for that and gaining your equity. And when you take the 401k loan, you're paying yourself back with interest. So you're making money on yourself by paying yourself back with interest, plus your 401k, plus your house. So now you turn that one into three assets.
that's fantastic. And you said that you do only residential. So I think I know the answer to this, but so I think up to 4 units is considered
That's correct. Residential.
residential. Do you have to live in it to get a residential loan on a fourplex?
You do not. You can get a fourplex, non-owner occupied. They do require a 25% down payment now. It used to be 20%. And that might change again when all the COVID rules go back to the way they were. But for now, it's 25% on a fourplex. You can still do on a duplex or a single family 20%.
Great. Now, what do you guys do, Mike and Nathan?
Nathan, I'll let you answer that one.
Sure. So our company does 3 things. We do business planning, financial consulting, and then we also do bookkeeping and payroll. Our dominant demographic are small business owners, independent contractors, and realtors. Real estate agents are probably our number one demographic, are real estate agents. But really what we actually do is we help people save money. So the quickest way for us to help somebody raise their income is just to stop overpaying the government. Like, that's by far the easiest way to do that. So the way that we do that is by structuring their business correctly. So if they're an independent contractor or a real estate agent, so that they're structured properly to be tax efficient, not just for this year, but for the rest of their career. And that makes a really, really big difference when you're thinking long-term and not just, okay, what's the tax I need to save today, but like, how do I do this for the rest of my life and make sure that I'm paying the least amount of taxes forever? If we can do that, the opportunities to build wealth and save for down payments and things like that is significant, because on average, the people who come to us get about a 10% raise. So imagine just saving a free 10% every year. Like, just let the government save your money. Like, that's fantastic. Like, just stop paying them.
Government
that's how we
makes
do
your
it.
down payment for the house, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Boom.
Yeah, so it's like if you do that for a year, you can save 10% of your money. A lot of people would have a down payment.
Yeah, I love that, because when Devin was talking about doing, like, taking from your 401k, I was thinking, what if you don't have a 401k?
Yeah,
Because,
like you're self-employed or something.
There's so many people that don't or are self-employed. So I love just the idea of having like a business consultant to evaluate. So evaluate your expenses is another way. Just reduce them or get guidance. So
yeah, so like what we do,
fantastic.
we stress test what somebody's doing against the industry standards of like what is the best practices in that field, and we have a way of stress testing that to make sure we know that our clients are constantly making optimal financial decisions, and the impact of that over a working career could be in the millions of dollars, just the impact of making the right decision over and over again.
That's fantastic. And so tell us, so Northwest Premier Creative Financial Solutions.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you guys, either way, like these guys are such a good resource for you. Should we wait for a market correction? I hear that a lot. Like, I know that no one has a crystal ball, but what's your guys' input on that? And anyone?
Devin?
Yeah. So no. is the short answer.
Okay.
And the reason is we don't know what the future is going to hold. So, I mean, people have been saying for the last 4 or 5 years there's a market correction coming. It hasn't happened. It may. I mean, there's ebbs and flows and everything, but who knows when it's going to come. But what we do know is what we should act on. And we do know that rates are extremely low. They're already starting to go up. There's inflationary concerns right now. What's the number one way that the Fed curbs inflation?
Money.
Raise rates.
Yeah.
They raise rates. So what's coming when there's talk of inflation everywhere? Rates are going up. Get in, lock that in. It makes so much more sense to lock in that low interest rate. Even if you got to live somewhere. So even if prices came backwards a little bit, if you're not selling, who cares? It doesn't affect you. You're just paying your monthly mortgage. It's going to come back. You're still going to get the write-offs, and you're still locked in the low threes. So,
and the price is such a small part of what actually matters in a home purchase. It definitely matters, but the cost of money matters significantly too, because you can have one house that you sold for $400 and one that says for $500, and they both have the same monthly payment. So there's really a matter of like when to buy, how to buy smart, working with somebody like Devin who knows the mortgage industry inside and out to make sure you're constantly making the best decision for you and your family really matters.
That's really good advice. Is there anything else that you guys would want to share with either a first-time home buyer or a wannabe investor? I guess first-time investor. Any other kind of
I think to kind of piggyback on what we do as well, we do a lot of cash flow analysis. So a lot of people have money dripping off their balance sheet constantly without even knowing it. Some small things that we do to find money all the time is like reshopping people's insurances. Typically, Nathan and I just every 6 months, we reshop our own insurance just to find better rates here and there because things change all the time. People who do investing or have investment accounts, a lot of them just have the dividends or what they've made go back into their account. But sometimes you can take that and just take it straight cash. Right, so there's a bunch of things where we find money just falling off the balance sheet. Nathan, I'm sure you can come up with a couple others yourself, but.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like how many times have you gotten to the end of the year and been like, wait, I made how much? Like, where did it all go? That's a good sign that that money is getting wasted somewhere. And so just simply, sometimes it's as simple as just taking a couple of months and really focusing on it. The level of awareness you have of where you're spending the money really matters. And like Mike was saying earlier, if you can change that spending to match your actual priorities, then life gets really good.
I love that. Well, thanks so much, you guys. This was fantastic. And if you guys have anyone, yourself or someone that you know that is just kind of at the point of, I don't know what to do next, and they want to buy a house or they're thinking about investing, just call any one of us. We are so happy to help you. There's never any obligation. And the worst thing that's going to happen is you got some really amazing advice. So stay tuned. Thank you again for watching. We will have a new episode every month. So stay tuned for next month. And thank you again. And thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Guys, it was so awesome to have you. Fantastic information. It was nice to kind of play the opposite role for a second. Thank you, Amy. That was really well done.
Yeah, that was fun.
Guys, stay tuned. We're going to have a current market update right after this. And as always, if you need to buy or sell a home, Amy Acevedo and the Acevedo team is an unbelievably great choice. Best of luck out there.